Because when we attack community, we're attacking something that is at the core and heart of God. Because it's who he is. God is one. It's one of the statements that Israel was meant to make. There's something important about the understanding that God is one. God has been experiencing fellowship and friendship ever since, well, I need to say since Adam was a lad, but that doesn't work, does it? Ever since God, forever, he has enjoyed fellowship and community. And when he created humanity, don't think, he looked around because he saw Adam was alone and he looked at Jesus and he said, I feel a bit lonely too. And the Holy Spirit, do you feel lonely? They never had that conversation. They didn't create humanity because they felt lonely, that there was something missing in them. They created humanity because they wanted to share the love. Hello? We've got this beautiful harmony. We've got this great synergy. We're distinct, yet we're one. We enjoy our friendship and our fellowship. We walk with one another and talk with one. Are we going to keep this to ourselves? No. Let's make someone in our image. Someone that's like us. And can I tell you, brothers and sisters, and those you watching online as well, and your brothers and sisters, maybe you're not, maybe you don't know Jesus, but wherever you're looking, I have never got over the fact that every human being, this is a revelation. It's not just something you learn in the Bible. You see it. And suddenly your eyes are opened. Every human being that you set eyes upon, there is something godlike about them. There is. Josh, you remind me of God. I mean it. David, you remind me of God. There is something godlike about you. Whoever's online, Mary, Martha, I chose those names. Joseph, Mary, Lazarus, if you're watching. There's something about you that is godlike. Just turn to the person next to you and say, you remind me of God. Remember, this was not, I've got so much to say today. Remember, this was not out of God's need. This was out of God's love. He created humanity in his image and likeness. We need one another because we're like God in his image and likeness. Jesus said it in this way. Listen to this. My prayer is not for them alone. That was for his disciples he prayed for. This is John 17. I pray also for those who will believe in me through their message. That's us. Are you a believer? Hip, hip. Yeah, some of you are excited, but others of you aren't. If you're a believer, this is what Jesus prayed for you. That all of them may be one. All of them. Father, just as you are in me and I am in you. So the same connection that the Father and the Son have, he wants us to enjoy. May they also be in us, that the world may believe that you've sent me. Hold on. It's not just so as that we may flourish, but it's so as the world may flourish. Community is for our sake, but it's for their sake. It's for the world's sake. He wants them all to believe that you sent me. And then he goes on. I've sent them the glory that you gave me. I've given them the glory that you gave me, that they may be one as we are one. I in them and you in me, so that may be brought to complete unity. Then the world will know that you sent me and have loved them even as you have loved me. One argument that often broke out around the disciples, around Jesus, was who's the greatest? Can I sit on the right? Can he sit on the left when you get into your glory, Lord? I think it was Muhammad Ali. Remember the famous boxer who used to use that term, I am the greatest. Some of you heard the story when he got on a plane and he refused to wear the seatbelt because he said to the flight attendant, I'm Superman, and Superman don't need no seatbelt. To which she said to him, Superman don't need no aeroplane. You and I are not superhumans. We're human. We need one another. When we insist on our own way or take credit for group accomplishments or walk away hurt because we weren't consulted, we're struggling with this kind of self-centeredness and self-glorification. But in the Trinity, you never get there. I haven't got time to go into this, but there's an essay written by a guy called Dale Bruner, all about the shyness of the Godhead. You can Google it. And when he talks about shyness, he's not talking about the shyness that is self-centered, that we often experience. He's not talking about a timidity, a fear. He's talking about a shyness of other-centeredness, of what the Bible calls preferring one another. And Dale Bruner suggests this, that if we were to have a whiteboard and draw a stick person on it, so imagine there's a whiteboard in front of me, stick person, should have brought this on, shouldn't I? The Holy Spirit is like this. If that person represents Jesus, the Holy Spirit will be behind the board. You won't see him, but you'll feel him and you'll hear him, and there'll be this hand that's coming round and saying this, look at Jesus. Listen to Jesus. He's the way, the truth, the life. And what he points out is the whole Godhead, Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, they have this shyness, which is not timidity, it's an other-centeredness. It's preferring one another. And the Holy Spirit points to Jesus. And Jesus says, if I've come to glorify myself, it's not worth nothing. I glorify the Father. And when you hear the Father speak, there's only 2 times recorded for us, one in Jesus' baptism, one on the Mount of Transfiguration. And God the Father speaks from heaven. And do you know what he says? Look at Jesus, effectively. This is my beloved Son, in whom I'm well pleased. Jesus, the Father doesn't say, and don't forget to listen to me, will you? Don't forget me. He's not worried about us forgetting. If we look at Jesus, we won't forget the Father. If we listen to the Holy Spirit, we won't forget the Son. And all of this community of the Godhead is pointing to one another and lifting each other up and glorifying one another. Can I just say this? In community, we will not thrive by making it all about me. It's not about me.
If you enjoyed this video today, why don't you click subscribe and click on that notification bell to get a notification the next time we upload a video. And if you're new or you've been coming to the C3 Church for a little while now, why don't you find out what your next step might be in the journey of faith? Click on the next step link in the description below to find out what your next step in your journey might be.